Oh my god, I am a fucking idiot, you guys. I have nothing ready. I had to rush home. I was already 30 minutes late because of something that happened. And I forgot to pull up my fucking VTuber. Oh my god. Give me 1 second, everybody. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh wait, is my phone dead too? Don't tell me my phone is dead. Oh my god, my phone is fucking dead too. Ah! Alright, phone is charging right now. It should be up hopefully in about like a couple of minutes.
Daddy, no!
Daddy, yes! Uh-oh.
Very cool.
Oh, very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very
cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Alrighty. Don't worry, guys. Lorelei is popping up now. Kind of. Come on! Beastie face! I'm opening you! Open when I tell you to open. Your phone's not connected to Wi-Fi. Fuck you. Yes, it is. Oh, it always goes to the extender instead of the main Wi-Fi. iPhone, why do you do this to me? Okay. Lore has entered true ghost form. Yeah! For real, though! What the fuck? Alright, hi, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. I am a dumbass and slept through my alarm today for work. Caballero! Hi, hi! Caballero, 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 caballero. How are you doing today? Gah, kind of scared me. Yeah. Nope, I was supposed to go back to work today, and I fucking slept till 2 p.m. Just so you know, my alarm for work goes off at 8 a.m. And when I woke up today, it wasn't making sound anymore, but it was still on the "your alarm is X amount of minutes overdue" screen. I was like, fuck. So I have no excuses. I absolutely have to go to work tomorrow. I'm setting like 3 alarms just in case. Honestly, I think it's my new medicine. It's absolutely my new medicine. I can't go to sleep on time. Like, I stay up for like several hours. Oops. There we go. I accidentally hit start a new game instead of load. That feeling of knowing you slept through your alarm is the best. No! It's not! So, yeah. But I have had a decent day. Been playing more Disgaea, of course. Disgaea 2, not 7. I'm gonna save that for stream. But honestly, I love 2 so much, I'm waiting till I at least beat it, because that's my current, like, autistic fixation, to say it in a weird way. My hyperfixation, technically. And then, yes, so I was supposed to stream, 45 minutes ago, start stream. And at 6:33, Sanbo says, hey, can can we run to the pharmacy? I need to pick up my insulin. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's fine. We have plenty of time. And we get there. For one, it was a really long wait. And two, there was this elderly woman, close to 70, I'd say. And, like, she had a lot of trouble breathing. And she kind of walked up to the counter after sitting down. She's like, ma'am, I need my medicine now. I need my medicine now. And at first I thought, she was just kind of being a Karen. And they're like, ma'am, we're working on it as fast as we can. It should be done in 5 minutes. She's like, the last bus leaves in 4 minutes, though. Like, I need it now. Otherwise, I'm going to have to walk home. I walked here and it was 3 hours and it's dark. I can't walk home. And you could tell she was panicked. She's like, otherwise I'm going to have to go without my medicine. But I can't do that. And later I found out it's because she has breathing issues. And the, like, stuff that she inhales for it, it's like a nebulizer, right? But the stuff that she nebulizes with, she ran out a day ago. So the whole reason she walked 3 miles to the pharmacy was because she desperately needed this medicine. And I just felt so bad, and she just kind of looked around the room so fucking panicked, and my heart was wrenching in my chest. So I kind of spoke up. I was like, where do you live, ma'am? And she goes, oh, off of North Blank Street. And I was like, North Blank Street? And I turned to Sampo, I'm like, I think that's where your grandpa lived. She's like, yeah, it's a senior citizen, like, complex. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where Sanbo's grandfather lived. So I was like, ma'am, do you have your phone? And she's like, yeah, it's almost dead, though. So I was like, oh, geez. So I was like, okay, let's take a quick look. And I opened up Google Maps and I looked. It was literally 10 minutes away, like, from my house. And so I looked at her. I was like, ma'am, you don't live far from me. I'll take you home. And she was just so fucking, like, elated and excited. And it felt really good. So we waited. Her medicine came out and she grabbed it. Sambo was still waiting for his insulin to fill, so he's like, why don't you take her now? I'll just wait here, so that way, I can be ready when the insulin comes, because I have a feeling it's going to be a while. So I take her home. I got free gummy bears! So I'm pretty happy I got gummy bears. I told her, that's your toll, and we both laughed. Found out she's a cancer survivor, and she's currently in remission. And she was all in all just a super sweet lady. And yeah, I was so happy. She gave me the biggest hug when I dropped her off at the living facility. And she was just really sweet. And I'm glad I met her. She was really sweet. And then she gave me another handful of gummy bears. They're still in my car because the first handful filled me up. So now, next time I go for a drive, I'll have gummy bears. As long as they don't melt in there. You shouldn't have helped that nice old lady. Made you late for stream. That's the worst thing you can do. That's true, blah, blah. I didn't tell her that she fucked it all up. Said, ma'am, do you know who I am? I'm Lorelei Sylvanas, world famous VTuber. Bloodlow's gonna be so pissed. But the problem is we got there probably around like 3:40 or so. And then her medicine didn't come out until like, or not 3:40, I'm sorry, 6:40. And then her medicine didn't come out till like 6:55. So I'm like, why didn't Sambo go up there for his medication if they hadn't called him that it's ready? He had to go in because his insurance changed. So that's why it was taking so long, was because they couldn't fill it until he gave them his insurance. Sorry, it's hard for me to talk today. So yeah, that's the story of why I'm late, so I am so sorry. But let's go ahead and continue. So, does anybody remember what happened last time? Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Issa. There was no sound. Do I accidentally have... Ow! No, it's not muted. Oh. Did you guys... Okay, that worked. Did you guys hear the slurp of the hydrate? Let me refresh the source. There you go. There you are, Blues, slurping it up. Okay. Thank you, guys. Save. Shut up, Az. We haven't gone anywhere yet. Alrighty. Yes, a mother-daughter complex. No! Blah blah! It's bad blah blah. Maria got the shit slapped out of her by Rosa. She also stayed in the rose garden during the typhoon to find Mario Nobara! And it's gone. Rosa's an abusive mother who slapped the shit out of her kid. And then at dinner, Maria had a mysterious letter, and she read it aloud at the table. And it was signed from the Golden Witch, Beatrice! Saying that she has the ring to the family, and that in 24 hours or so, she will take back, or she's currently taking back everything. The wealth of the family, the worth of the family, the name, everything like that. But if they can solve the epitaph, the witch's epitaph, before the end of October 5th, then she will stop the ritual and she will grant the wealth to the true successor, or the new successor, I should say. So, they tried to talk to Kinzo and be like, the fuck is up? And Kinzo's like, man, fuck those bitches. I'm out. Beatrice! I just want to see her smile. Beatrice! So, let's go ahead and jump right into it. The strange letter that the witch had entrusted to Maria wiped all memories of dinner from our minds. Maria was repeatedly barraged with questions by Aunt Rosa and the other parents, and becoming increasingly ill-tempered when they refused to believe her. If we kids tried to butt in, they'd probably ignore us. Our parents were all stirred up, firing back and forth about the gold and the distribution of the assets. I didn't mean to hit enter. Distribution of the assets, and completely forgetting that we were even there. I'd already guessed they'd been talking like this in the shadows, but I hadn't thought they'd be so blunt. It gave all of us a considerable shock. From what we could overhear, all of the parents wanted more money as soon as possible. Back and forth about grandfather's inheritance, back and forth about the distribution of the gold if it was found, about advanced payments and cash. It was so despicable, I could hardly bear to watch, even though one of them was my father. It looked like Jessica felt the same way. We left our seats without being asked to, and went to hang out somewhere well away from our parents. I get it. Now I totally see why grandfather hates coming down for meals. I'm so disillusioned with our own parents right now. All that about money and the inheritance. How can they act like that right out in the open? Well, I'm already completely disillusioned with my old bastard. There's no way I could think any worse of him. That's exactly the same for me. Still, that freaking shocked me. Shocked me to the core. Jessica looked down at the floor, irritated. She was always talking about how bad her parents were, but maybe she hadn't really felt that way deep inside. The depths of Jessica's shock made that clear. You're all minors being supported by your parents, so you might not understand. But getting money is neither a simple nor a pretty thing. I won't try to force you to understand you right now, since you're still kids. But even so, I want you to realize that your parents are just doing their best in their own way. Oh, great. George Anaki's gotten all mature. George-san, I know you're working hard as a full-fledged member of society, but does that mean you turn into a shameless, greedy vulture like our parents whenever you start talking about money and assets? If it were only for my own benefit, then no, I wouldn't want to do that. However, when your family and your employees, your subordinates and their families are all counting on you, there are some times when you must fight. I hate that kind of fight. That back and forth about grandfather's inheritance just makes me want to puke. Jessica pretended to spit violently. That harsh reaction made the depths of her pain very clear. Let's stop talking about this. All this about grandfather's hidden gold, property, and inheritance is our parents' problems, not ours. I agree. At the very least, I think children have a duty to be considerate and stay out of their parents' way when they're talking together. Sounds pretty boring. Everyone knows the phrase, adults are filthy, but we had now seen that for ourselves, and that really did give us a considerable shock. George Anaki was now pretty much an adult, and I'd always been disillusioned with my dad, so the shock wasn't that big for us. But Jessica seemed to be taking it hard. Apparently, she'd received a bigger blow than I thought. She always talks badly about her parents, but it looks like she hadn't changed at all on the inside. Even now, she's still a pure, delicate person who can't doubt others. I'm sure she respected her parents as much as anyone else does. And then her parents started raging about going, money, inheritance, my money, right in front of all the other parents and children. It's no surprise she received such a shock from hearing that. Jessica-chan, please, don't start hating your own mother and father. I won't ask you to understand them, but at least don't hate them. I get it. Just leave me alone for a bit. 6 years ago, I would have kept taunting Jessica even after she got all dejected. But I guess I really have grown over these last 6 years. I realized it'd be better to leave Jessica alone right now. Jessica suddenly looked away, sulkily, and left the parlor. She probably wanted to be alone for a while. I could do nothing but wordlessly watch her back as she left. Come to think of it, I wonder where Maria-chan went. She's probably pouting in front of the portrait. Maria truly looked up to witches, and she expected that coming in direct contact with Beatrice and receiving the letter as proof would surprise everyone and make them happy. However, the adults had doubted its authenticity, thoroughly bombarding Maria with questions and refusing to accept her story. Even for me, it wasn't hard to imagine how much that must have hurt Maria. We couldn't speak to Maria or Jessica. In the end, George Anaki and I just abandoned ourselves to the sound of the falling rain in the dark night. I wonder what's happening with that typhoon. Maybe there's something about it on the news. George Anaki started walking over to the corner of the parlor where the television was. He hadn't called me over, and I really could have cared less where the typhoon was on the sea now. So without going over to the television, I loitered around the window.
そんなに風は出てなさそうだけど、
The wind hasn't
海の
picked
上は
up
ひ
that
どいの
much
かしら
here,
ね。
but I wonder if it's horrible over the sea.
天気予報では
I
暴
didn't
風
hear
警
about
報
the
も
severe
聞いてたん
storm
だけど。
warning on the weather report.
キリエさんか。
Ah, Kirie-san. I take it those big talks between the adults are going smoothly.
どん
Yeah.
な感じなんすか？
She seemed to catch the sarcasm. Kirie-san shrugged.
この胃の痛くなる
I
話
wonder
は
if that
徹夜で続
stomach
くの
ache
か
of
し
a
ら。
discussion will continue all night.
嫌になるわ。
It's not going to be fun.
まあ、
Well
せい
then,
ぜいよろし
please
く。
enjoy playing vultures to
じいさまの財
grandfather's
産分配
property
につ
as
いて
much as you'd like.
最
I
低
feel
の気分だ
sick.
ぜ。
それに関してはど
I'll
うか
agree
な。
with you on that.
バトラ君みたいに
If
席
I
が
could
外
just
せ
slip
る
away
なら、
like you,
私
I'd
もそう
do
したい
it.
わ。でもそうもいかない。
Unfortunately, I can't.
たとえ発言権
Even
が
if
な
I'm
くて
not
も
allowed
ね、
to speak,
パートナーも
we
大変。
spouses have it pretty tough too. Kirie-san took a deep breath, smiling bitterly. That's right. They probably wouldn't let Kirie-san speak since she's only married into the family. Still, as Dad's partner, she had no choice but to stay by his side and support him. She's probably had to bear the full brunt of this mental pressure She's probably had to bear the full brunt of this mental pressure much more than me. I wasn't going to apologize, but realizing that I'd spoken too harshly, I cut the sarcasm for the time being.
どんな感じなんすか？
So, how does it look?
相変わらず
Are they
謎
still
の魔
stuck
女
on
ベ
the
アトリー
topic
チェ
of
の話題で
mysterious
持
witch
ちきりですか？
Beatrice?
まあね。
More or less.
あの人たちは
Those four
おじい
siblings are
様が亡
always
くなった
piling
時
up
の遺産
secret
分配に
agreements
つい
when they
て
come together
兄
to
弟
discuss
4
the
人で話
division
をまとめよ
of
うと
grandfather's
ずっと
inheritance.
密約を重
She's
ね
a
てそこへ未知の5人目が現れ
They're
て
saying that some
話をや
unknown
やこし
fifth
くしようっ
person
て
has
言うんだから
appeared and is trying
穏
to
便な
make
話
things
なわ
even
けも
more
ないわ。
complicated. And there's no way that'll make for a peaceful conversation.
互いを罵り合ったり、
Just when
か
you
と思
think
えば
they're
共闘しようって
snarling
こ
at
とに
each
なった
other,
り、
they'll set up a common
夏
front.
日姉さんでなくても頭痛がしてくるとこ
Natsuhi-san's
ろよ。
not the only one getting headaches. On the one hand, they all want a larger portion than the other siblings, so they're rivals. But on the other hand, they don't want 1 yen to be snatched up by anyone other than the siblings. So they're also all allies. I hadn't been told the details, but the siblings were apparently discussing how to protect their shares under various situations. Setting up ceasefire agreements and rules to prevent anyone from getting an unfair advantage, even preparing to resort to legal action if absolutely necessary. That they would go this far to preserve their shares was so beyond disgusting that you just had to acknowledge their resilience.
ってことは
So
指図ね。
basically,
ベアトリーチェはじい様からの
Beatrice
資
is
格
like
っ
an
てとこ
assassin
ですか
sent by
ね。
grandfather. He probably wanted to scare the
自分
hell
抜
out
き
of
で
his
遺産の分
children
配
for
なんて
talking
話
about
を
the
勝手に
inheritance
進めてた
without
息子だ。
him.
何者かしらね、ベアトリーチェって。
Who is this Beatrice, I wonder?
自称してることが
If
全て本
everything
当
she
なら、
claims is true,
今日まで誰に
then
も
she's
知
a
られずにい
mystery
た謎の
figure
人物
that
で、
no one knew about
しかも
until
おじい様
today.
の隠し黄金の
And she
存
also
在を
knows
知ってい
grandfather's
て、
hidden gold.
その上当主の
On
指輪
top
ま
of
で委ねられ
that,
ている。
she was even entrusted with the head's ring.
相当に信頼された
She
人物ね。
must truly have been trusted by him.
さすがにほうきにまたがった魔女
Well,
だとは思わない
obviously,
ですけ
I
ど。
don't think she's a witch riding around on a
でも
broom. But there's no
魔
doubt
女と
she's
呼
a
ぶに
mysterious
値する
person
怪
who's
人物
earned
で
the
ある
right
こ
to
と
be
は
called a
間
witch.
違いないっすね。
マリアちゃんがそのあたりのことを
If
詳
only
しく
Maria
話し
Chan
て
would
くれれ
go
ばいい
into
のだ
more
けど、
detail about that.
みんな小さい子にがっ
Everyone's
つ
been
きすぎだわ。
smothering her, even though she's just a little girl.
すっかり怯えてしまっ
They
て、
really scared her.
聞けるものも
Some
聞けな
things
く
they
なって
might
しま
have
った。
asked now can't be
あの
asked.
人たち、北
I
風
wonder
と
if
太陽
those
とか
people
読ん
have
だことない
ever
のか
even
しら。
read The North Wind and the Sun.
確かなのは
What we do
マリア
know
が
is that Maria
ベア
received
トリ
a
ーチェと
letter
名乗
from
る
a
人物から
person
手紙を
who
受け取
took
っ
the
たこと。
name Beatrice. She
自
sure
分
is
で現れて
shy
直接
for a
話せばいい
mystery
ものを
person, entrusting
手紙
Maria
を
with a
託して
letter
今も
and
どこかに
hiding
身を
away
潜めてい
even
るって
now
いう
when she could have just
シャイな
appeared
怪
and
人
talked
物
to
で
us
すね。
directly.
ねえ、バトラ君。
Hey, Batla-kun,
ベアト
do
リー
you
チェなんて
really
人
think a
物が
person called Beatrice
本当にいると思う？
actually exists?
さ
Who knows?
あ、あくまでも
Does
偽名
it
じゃない
really
ですかね。
seem like a false name?
じい様の代理人とし
Like
て
she's grandfather's
その妄想の中
representative,
の魔女の
so
名を
she
名
was
乗る
given
ことを許さ
permission
れ
to
た。
take the name of the
とか。
witch from his delusions?
そうじゃなく
No,
て
that's not what I meant.
今この六軒島には
Right now,
全
there's
部
a
で
total of
18
18
人いるの
people here on Rokkenjima.
19人目が
Do you
存在
think
する
there's
と
a
思う
19th person? Are there really a full 18 people on this island right now? Wondering about that, I began counting on my fingers, and it really did come out to that many.
19人目が存在すると
Do
思う
I think that a 19th person exists? What exactly do you
どういう
mean?
意味ですか？
言葉通りの意味よ
Just what I said.
マリアちゃんに
The
傘を貸し
person
た
who
人物
lent
は
Maria that
私た
umbrella
ち18人の中
supposedly
にはいな
wasn't
い
one
ら
of
し
us
い
18.
なら19人目
So
がい
isn't
て
it natural to
その人
assume
物
that
が
a
マリアちゃんに
19th
傘を
person
貸したと思う
exists?
のが妥当
And
じゃ
that
ない
this person lent Maria the umbrella?
まあ、そ
Well,
うなりますね。
yeah, it sure looks that way.
ならその人物は
Then
今どこ
where
にいるの
exactly is this person now?
少なくとも雨が降り出した瞬間には島にいた
At the very least, she must have been on the island when it started raining.
そしてその後はどん
And
どん天
ever
気が
since
悪化
that
して
time, the weather has
とて
grown
も船なんか
progressively
出せない
worse.
状態
So taking a boat out would be pretty much
とな
impossible.
ればその
In
人物
that
はまだ
case,
島の
that
中にいて
person must still be
ど
on
こ
the
かで
island,
雨宿りをしていな
hiding
くては
from
な
the
らない
rain somewhere,
私たち誰の
and
目にも
without
触
any
れ
of
ず
us
ね
spotting her.
確かに
True.
俺たちは
We've all been
屋敷や
randomly
ゲストハウ
crawling
スの中を
around
勝
all
手にう
over
ろ
the
つき回ってまし
mansion
た
and the
が
guest house.
誰も
No one
19
has
人目な
bumped
んかに
into
は
a
会ってないわ
19th
けですよ
person.
ね。
But this island is
これだけ
huge.
屋敷やゲス
There
トハウ
might
ス以
be
外に
other places
雨
to
宿
take
りできる
shelter
ところだ
from
って
the
ある
rain
のか？
other than the mansion and the guest house. At about this time, I began to realize what direction Kirie-san's suspicions were taking us in. Kirie-san was denying that a 19th person existed. Beatrice was one of us 18. In other words, she thought someone we knew well was tricking us.
ベアトリーチェが自称する通りならその人物は間違いなく最高の賓客よ
If Beatrice is who she claims, she would surely be the most honored of
おじい
guests,
様が信頼する
most
最高
honored
の
of
福祉
confidants, trusted by grandfather.
そんな人物をおじい
There's
様が
no
歓
way
待しないわけが
grandfather
ない
wouldn't give that kind of person a warm
お屋
reception.
敷に迎え入れないわけはないのよ
She would surely have been ushered into the mansion. However,
私たちは誰も見ていない
oh sorry, however, we haven't seen anyone like that.
待ってくださいよ。
Wait a
それは
second.
ちょいと
Isn't
請
this
求な
line
推
of
理じゃないで
reasoning
す
a
か？
bit too hasty?
確かに。誰の目
Sure,
にも
no
触れ
one
てはいない
spotted
け
this
ど。
person, but that
だからって
doesn't
19人目を
mean
否
you
定する
can
ことにはなら
deny
ないん
the
じゃないですか？
possibility that a 19th person exists, right?
何かの理由があってこっそ
Maybe
り
for
上
some
陸してず
reason
っ
they
と隠れ
landed
てい
on
る
the
の。
island stealthily and have been hiding ever since.
悪
That's
魔
what
の
they
証
call
明
a
って
devil's
やつ
proof.
いることを証明するの
It's
は
easy
た
to
やすい。
prove that something
ベアト
exists,
リーチェってやつ
but
が
if Beatrice
俺たちの
appears
前
in
に
front
現
of
れ
us
て
all and
挨
says
拶すりゃ
hi,
解
then
決
it's
する。
settled.
でも
But
19人
it's
目がいないことを
impossible to
証明
prove
す
that
るのは
there's no
不可能っすよ。
19th person. Yes,
バトラ君
that
の推理の
Naku,
仕
your
方
way
は
of
悪くない
reasoning
わ
isn't bad.
現在の状況
In
で
our
は
current
19
situation,
人目
there
の
isn't
存在
enough
を認めるに
information
も
to either
否定
accept
するにも情報
or
が
to
足りない
deny that a 19th person exists.
でもね
But
チェ
if
ス
you
盤をひ
spin
っ
the
くり返して
chessboard
考え
around
ると
and think that
ほ
way,
ぼ
we
19人目
can't
はあり
deny
え
the
ないって
existence of a
断言で
19th
きちゃう
person
のよ
with near certainty. Spin the chessboard around was one of Kyrie's favorite phrases. I've been influenced by those words and used them myself from time to time. When you get stuck trying to find a move in chess or shogi, then by spinning the board around and looking at everything from your opponent's standpoint, you can often see a strategy that'll give you the upper hand. It means turning things around and putting yourself in your opponent's shoes.
いい
You see,
仮に19人目
let's
の
say
人
that
物
a
として
19th person called
ベアトリ
Beatrice
ーチェに
actually
実在その人
exists.
物は
That
誰にも
person
知られる
must
こと
have
なく
managed
こっ
without
そり
being
とその
seen
島
by
に上陸
anyone
し
to
ずっと
stealthily
隠れてい
arrive
た
on this island and remain hidden ever since. Hi, Mecha!
何かの理由があって
Maybe they had some reason, okay?
なら
In
ど
that
うしてわ
case,
ざわざ
why did
姿
they
を
go
現し
to
て
all of the
マリアちゃん
trouble
に手紙
of
を渡し
appearing
たの
before Maria and handing her the letter? It really was a contradiction. If If they had some reason for hiding themselves, then they should have stayed hidden the whole time. But even so, they had appeared openly in front of Maria.
それは
Then...
ほら
Wait, Maria
も
said
言
it
ってたメッ
herself.
センジャーにされ
She
たって
said the
言っ
witch
てた
made
じゃないで
her
すか
a messenger.
マリアが一番
Maybe that's
年
because
下で
Maria was the
素直そうだ
youngest
った
and
から
looked
じゃ
most obedient.
メッセンジャーなんて
Why
必要
would
な
they
の？
need a messenger?
手紙を親
If
族
they
会議
just
の席
wanted
上
a
に送
letter
りたかったら
delivered to the family
郵送すれば
conference,
いいだけの
they
話
could have
よ。
mailed it.
4人の兄弟
If they
全員
mailed
に郵
it
送
to
すれ
each
ば
of the four
黙殺す
siblings,
ることもでき
no one
な
would be
い。
able to ignore
手
it.
紙を持参して
There was no
こっ
need
そ
for
り
this
手渡
person
す
to
理由
carry
が
it
ないの。
themselves and secretly deliver it by hand.
確かに
Yeah,
なんだかお
that
か
does
しな
sound
話
pretty
っすね
weird.
そもそも
In the
ベア
first
トリーチェが
place,
存
if
在してい
Beatrice
て
existed
そ
and
の
wanted
存
to
在
make
を
her
アピール
presence
したい
known
なら
to
みん
everyone,
なの前に堂々
then
と
she could
姿
have
を
just
現せばい
openly
いだけの
presented
話
herself to all of
なの
us.
に現れず
Despite that,
マリ
she
アちゃんと
chose
い
the
う小
vague
さな
method
子を
of
通して
appearing through a
お
little
ぼろげ
girl
な輪
called
郭だけ
Maria,
でその存在を主
and
張
only
しよう
gave
と
us
す
a
る
vague
曖昧さ
impression of who she was. So my only... I don't know, I don't remember if like Battler counters with this, but my only counter to Kyrie's things is she wants to be seen as a mysterious figure. Like, that's her point. And not only that, but imagine if she had appeared after everyone read the letter or the message of, hey, fuck all you guys, I'm gonna be killing y'all and stealing your gold and the head of the house. She can't guarantee nobody would have attacked her if this, you know, wasn't a witch and just a person to save. So I get where Kyrie is coming from, but also she's kind of ignoring just the idea of maybe she wants to play mind games with them. She wants to be seen as a mysterious figure. Maybe she's afraid of being in person because, like, I mean, everyone in that family has anger issues. So who's to say either one of the men or any one of the women wouldn't have fucking tackled her or punched her or, you know what I mean? She wants to mess with their heads and make them panic. Exactly. Even if this is just a single person working with Kinzo and not a witch or a magical being like Kyrie is hinting towards. Or, again, if it is somebody on the island. Imagine if it is somebody on the island. And, like, do you think that they don't want to be out in the open, they don't want to get caught, but that could go without saying for a mysterious 19th person. So, she's got single-digit HP. Exactly! She's a mage. No, that's exactly it. So, again, I don't remember if Battler, like, combats that or not, but...
矛盾
Contradiction.
もっと考えて
Let's go a little deeper, shall we?
マリアちゃんの前に
She
姿を
appeared in
現し
front of Maria,
19人目の存在を印象づけるとい
trying
う
to
点
give us
と
the impression that a 19th
にも
person
かかわらず
existed. And yet,
今この瞬
she
間
still
も
hasn't
私たちの前に
appeared
姿を
before
現
us
さず
and is
隠れ
hiding
続
somewhere at
け
this
ている
very moment.
これらの矛盾
Think about those contradictions.
これを念頭に置いた上
You've
で
got to
チ
keep
ェス
these
盤をひっく
things
り
in
返
mind when you spin the chessboard around.
すつまり
In short,
19
if
人目
a
の人
person
物と
wants
して
to
ベアトリーチェがい
wants
ると印
to
象づけ
leave
たい
us with the
人物の
impression
目
that
論みは
Beatrice
何かよ
exists as the 19th person, what might their goal be?
姿を隠したい
If
人
this
物
person
なら
wanted to
その
hide,
存在を
then they
アピ
wouldn't
ール
have
す
made
る
their
わけが
presence
ない
known.
そして
And if they
姿を
wanted to
現
show
したい人物なら
themselves, they wouldn't have used
手
the
紙を託す
roundabout
なんて遠
approach
回しを
of
するわけ
entrusting
が
someone
ない
with a letter.
ってことは
Which means
簡単よ
it's simple.
ベアトリーチェは18
Beatrice
人
is
の
one of
中
the
にいるのよ
18 people. Again, you guys are missing the whole, like,
だからこそ
That's why
18人
they
以外の
want to
人物
create
が
the
存在するような
illusion
幻想
that
を
there
作
might
り
be
出して
more
い
than
るこれ
18
見よがし
people.
な19人
The
目のアピ
19th
ール
person was revealed so spectacularly. Power to legit raise the dead, destroying everything. That's not a mage, that's a cleric, yeah.
それで得をするのは姿を
If
潜
someone
め
were
た
to
19
profit
人目
from
じゃな
this,
い
it wouldn't be some 19th person in hiding.
すでにいる18
It'd
人
be
の方
one
な
of
の
the
よ
original 18
もち
people.
ろん
Of course, this
この推理は
reasoning
穴だらけ。
is full of holes.
いくつかの前提が
If
ひ
you
っくり
turn
返るだけで
over even a
すぐ
few
に
of its
崩れる脆いも
premises,
のだけど
it'll simply fall apart.
私はほぼ間違いないと見てるわ。
See, that's the thing. She's actually called she is called Kinzo's, or the Ushirimiya alchemist. So yeah, she's an alchemist whose secondary trait is either a cleric or I was thinking like necromancer, because if she can bring people back to life, an alchemist necromancer. Low battery. Son of a bitch. I forgot to charge my headset. If you turn over even a few premises, it'll simply fall apart. But I'm almost completely certain it's correct. This is starting to feel really creepy. Someone lent Maria the umbrella and handed her the letter. Supposedly, none of us 18 did this. And yet, Beatrice is hidden amongst these 18. What is this person's planning? Hiding their true form and pretending to be Beatrice.
マリアちゃんの自
I
作自演も
suspect
疑
it
った
might
ん
have
だけ
been
ど、
Maria Chan play
文章
acting,
の内容が
but the
非常に
contents
手
of
が
that
込んで
message
て、
were extremely
マリアちゃんが自前で
complicated.
用意したとは
And it's
考
hard
え
to
られない。
imagine Maria Chan writing that herself. Yes, but what if the 19 person isn't after the money? I mean, the money is involved, but I don't think it's her end goal.
でも、
Well, yeah,
マリアちゃ
because
んが
she's
何者か
offering
と
to
共
give
謀
it
している
back
可能
if
性
they
も否定
solve
で
the
きないわ。
epitaph. So clearly, Beatrice clearly doesn't want the gold. She's using it as a threat of, I will take this away. So really, her motivation, for whatever reason it is for these people to solve the epitaph. Because that was her only condition of giving back the money and the dignity of the family and all of the assets that she has been given from Hanzo. So I agree with Isa. They're thinking too hard on somebody stealing her money rather than working together to get it back. Asshats. However, I can't deny the possibility that Maria Chan is... Fuck, I didn't mean to click.
おいおいマリアは誰と何を共謀するってんだよ。
However, I can't deny the possibility that Maria Chan is working together with someone. Well, wait a sec. Maria's a 9-year-old kid, right? What could she possibly be planning, and with whom?
しかも
And what about her straightforward, overly honest, obedient nature?
ええ、
Yes, I also understand that that kind of person Maria Chan is.
でも、だから
But
こそあ
that's
り得る
exactly
の。
why I think it's possible.
魔女に憧れ、
That girl's
そ
a
の存
dreamer
在
who
を
can't
妄信して
help
い
but
る
look
夢見が
up
ちな少
and
女。
blindly accept the existence of witches.
そこにベアトリ
So
ーチ
if
ェ
a
と名乗る
person
人物
appeared in front
が
of her
現れ
and
て、
claimed to be
魔
the
女だ
witch
と名乗った
Beatrice,
ら、
Maria Chan
彼
would
女はそれを
happily
大喜
swallow
び
it
で
up,
鵜呑み
I
にして
think.
信じるんじゃないかしら。
つまり
So you're saying that if someone disguised themselves by wearing that fancy
マリアを
dress
騙
or
す
the
ことは
portrait,
難しくない。
tricking Maria wouldn't be that hard.
その論法
Of
になっちゃうと、
course, with that
私
疑
たち女性
all
陣
of us
は
women could
みんな
become the
疑われちゃう
primary
ことになる。とにか
suspects.
く、
Anyway,
マリアちゃんが何
who
者
did
に出会
Maria
った
Chan
のか、
encounter?
それの詳細を聞くことが、この謎を解く一番にして最も身近な鍵なのよ。
Of course, with that reasoning... Oh, sorry. Learning the details of that question would be the best key to solving this riddle.
しかしその鍵
But
は
this key has been
少
firmly
女の
locked
心
away
の奥
inside
に
Maria's
固くなに閉ざされてしまったわ。
Oh, no, no. Ow!
みんなが頭ごなしに
Everyone
魔女の
denied the
存在を否定
existence of
し、
the witch without
一
listening
体そ
to
の人
her,
物は誰なのか
barraging
問い詰
her
めす
too
ぎ
much with questions about who Beatrice
マ
actually
リアちゃんは
was.
当分
She probably won't
大人
open
には
her
心を
heart
開か
to
ない
the
でしょう
adults
ね。
now. In the dim hall, in front of the portrait of Beatrice, Maria was sobbing.
No one believes I met Beatrice. Even though I showed them the letter Beatrice gave, they still don't believe.
Poor Poor Maria. Maria just wants some fucking
鍵はマ
respect.
リアちゃんが握って
The
るわ。
voice actor saying "ooh" is 100% not how I would have read it in my head. It's like in a good way. So it's actually one of my favorite voice actresses, Yui Horie. She voices one of my favorite characters, Hanyu, from Higurashi. I'm looking up more other like popular anime she's voiced in. Just different than I thought it would be. Anybody here a fan of Bakemonogatari? In Bakemonogatari, she's Tsubasa Hanekawa. If anybody here has seen ReZero? She is Feris, the cat maid, essentially. Oh, and if anybody's a fan of Clannad, or sorry, not Clannad, Canon, she is Ayu Tsukimiya. Yeah, Hanekawa. So yeah, those are just a couple of, I would say, more recognizable roles. Unless, of course, you've seen Higurashi no Naku Koro ni. Then, you would know, you would absolutely pick her out as Hanyu, without question. Toradora, she's Minori. Oh yeah, she's Chie. If Luna were here. She's Chie in Persona 4 as well. Anyway, Maria's holding the key.
ベアトリーチェが
The key
18
to
人の
whether
中にいる
Beatrice is
の
one
か
of the 18
19
people
人目なの
or
か
19th
それを知
person.
る鍵。
マリアは頑固だぜ。
Maria's stubborn, right?
あいつ
When that girl gets angry, it's pretty hard to make her feel better.
大人の私より
Battler-kun,
子供のバト
I
ラ君の
think
方
a
が
kid like
機
you
嫌
would
を
be
直せ
better
る
at
確率は
cheering her
高
up
そうよ。
than an adult like me.
彼女の機嫌が治
After
ったら
she's
聞いて
feeling
みて。
better, try asking.
遺産分配がどう
I
のこ
know
うのっ
you
て
don't
話
care
には
about all
関
this
心ない
back
け
and
ど
forth about the
こん
inheritance.
な王道
But
洋
don't
館ミ
you
ステリーみ
find
たいな
this
シチュエーションに
Western
は
Mansion
ワクワク
mystery
しちゃうね。
situation exciting?
マリアちゃんに手
Who in
紙
the
を渡し
world
た
is
人
this
物は一
person who
体
gave
誰なの
Maria
か
Chan the letter?
知
It
的
makes
好
you
奇心が
feel
う
your
ずくわ
intellectual curiosity.
「うんざりするような
You're
金の
actually
話に
pretty
付き合わされ
tough,
ても
considering you're still excited after being dragged through all that
実に
endless
タフ
money
なことだ
talk.
ぜ。大人は
Also,
すげえ。
Battler blushing is adorable. Adults can be pretty amazing. I shrugged exasperatedly. But I did notice something. Kyrie noticed how dejected I was after overhearing our parents' turbulent discussion, and was probably trying to clear the air. At that very least, I'd recovered enough to voice my complaints. She wasn't my real mother, so I've never felt like calling her mom. But it did make me think she's a real adult.
おうガキども
Hey,
ここにいたの
brats! So this is where you
キ
burn.
リエも長い
Kyrie,
化粧
you
直
really
しじゃ
took
ね
your
えか
time fixing your makeup, didn't you?
俺も次からは
I think I'll make a
化粧をしてく
habit
る
of
ことに
going
す
out
る
to
ぜ
touch up my makeup too.
ごめんなさい
I'm sorry.
女の化
A
粧は
woman's
長いの
makeup
よ
takes a long time.
どう兄弟
So,
水入らずの
How
話
has
し
the
合いは
discussion been without me? I'm pretty sure everything was all peaceful and harmonious. Kyrie-san poked the weak spot under my arm with her elbow.
一度頭を冷やそう
We
ってことで
decided to take a
集中
break
し
to
さ
cool our heads a little.
こりゃ夜通し
It
になり
looks
そう
like
だ
we'll
ぜ
be at it all night.
泣けてくれ
Makes me want to cry. His way of talking hadn't changed, but he couldn't completely hide his fatigue. I couldn't say I was sympathetic, but he looked pitiful compared to his normal energetic self.
しかしひでえや
Still, that rain's just awful.
ゲストハウスに戻
I
るのも
really
嫌
don't
なん
want
で
to
す
go back to the guest house.
夏日姉さん
It
が
looks like
屋敷で
Natsuhime-san
泊ま
set
れるよう
things up
準
so
備
we
して
could
くれたら
spend the
しい
night here in the mansion.
どうする
What'll we do?
3階になった時
We
に考
don't
えて
need to
もいいんじゃない
decide until you're done, right?
部屋に戻る体
If
力
you
もな
run
くな
so
って
low on
から
energy you
その
can't
時は
return
お世
to
話
our
になり
room,
ましょうよ
then we can take them up on their offer.
そうだね。
You're right.
その時に考えりゃ
We
いい
could
か。
think about it later.
バトラーはどうする？
What about you, Battler?
俺がいちゃお邪魔だろうからよ。
If I stayed, I'd just get in the way.
気使って。
I'll be nice
向こうに
and
戻
go
るぜ。
back over there.
そうか。
I see.
すぐ戻るのか。
Will you go back soon?
さあな。
I don't know.
一人で戻ったって
It'd
寂
be
しいし
lonely to
よ。
head back by myself.
子供全員で揃
I'll
って
gather all
帰
the
ることに
kids
する
and
ぜ。
we'll head out.
そうだな。
Okay.
そうするといい。
You go do
それ
that.
で、バトラー。
Also, Battler,
お前、
you won't be going to sleep that easily tonight, right?
多分、いとことして
Yeah,
おしゃ
I'll
べりし
probably
て
be
る
up
だろ
talking
う
with the
な。
cousins.
夜更かししそうな気
Sounds
配
like
はある
we'll
ぜ。
both. Sounds like we'll be up all night.
それがどうかしたのか
Is there a problem with that?
そうか。もし、
If you're still awake when the adults' discussion is over,
起きてた
I
ら、
want to have a little
ちょい
talk
と家族
as
で
a
したい話
family.
なんだよ。
A what?
柄にもねえな。
That doesn't sound like you. Apparently, Kyrie-san was thinking the same thing. What are you talking about? She asked him in a small voice. It looked like Kyrie didn't have a clue what Dad meant either.
キリエにも聞いてもらいた
I
い話
also
だ。
wanted to talk to you about it, Kyrie.
後で話すから、
I'll tell you
今
later,
は聞くな。
so don't ask now,
頼む。
please. I don't know how anyone who neglected the concept of family as much as this old bastard. And now he's saying we're gonna have a talk as a family. Both Kyrie-san and I couldn't help but get eye-wide. Or wide-eyed, oh my
そう
god.
ビビった顔すんな
Eye-wide.
よ。
Wide-eyed. Don't look so
ビビ
terrified.
りてえのは俺
I'm
の
the
方
one
な
who
ん
should
だ
be。terrified.
何しろ。
After all. At that point, he swallowed his words for an instant. Even though putting on airs of importance wasn't much like my dad.
気持ち悪いぜ、
You're
親
freaking
父。
me out, Dad.
今、家族は全員
Everyone
揃
in
って
our
るじゃねえかよ
family's。gathered here now,
もっ
right?
たいぶらずに言え
So
よ。
make a big deal out of it. Just spit it out.
俺は多分、
Tonight,
今夜、
I will probably
殺されるだろうな。
be killed. There was a huge crash of thunder. It must have been really close. Dad's expression, brightly illuminated by the lightning, was burned into my eyes. Dad's face, which always looked so sure of itself and which always wore a taunting expression, was strangely frail in a way I couldn't really explain. It was so worn out that he looked like a different person.
は？
What?
何言ってんだよ。
What are you
ガーデン
talking about? That doesn't sound like you.
同感よ
I agree.
どうしたの？
What happened?
急に
You
弱気ね
look so timid all of a
あ
sudden.
なたらしくもない
It's not like you. I'm gonna go fix my
俺も
makeup
ついてく
too.
んなよ。
Don't follow me. Dad turned away, weakly. After that, only Kyrie and I were left. Still wide-eyed.
なんだってんだ。
What did he say?
今夜殺
Tonight
され
he'll
る？
be killed?
まさか。
You don't think that
あの
mysterious
妙
letter
な手紙のせい
scared
で
him, do you?
連続殺人
He's
も
been
のの映
watching
画の
too
見
many
過ぎだ
serial
ぜ。
murder movies. Kyrie-san didn't answer my lighthearted words and continued to stare at my dad's disappearing back.
バトラ君はルドルフさん
Butler-kun,
に
when you
今
told
話せと言った
Rudolph-san to
ら
spill the
話
beans
さ
right
ず立
away,
ち去った
he left without telling us anything.
みんなに話すこと
Even
が
though
あ
he
ると
said
言い
he
出
had
しなが
something
ら
to say to both
答
of
えな
us,
かった
he didn't answer you.
どうして
Why?
チェス盤をひっくり
Spin
返
the
す
chessboard around.
すると
What do you see?
話すと言っておきながら
Well,
話せ
when
ない
he said he
でしょ。
wanted to talk but then couldn't, that's a contradiction.
なんすかね。
What can you see something
親父
by
側から見る
looking
と
from Dad's
何か見えてきますか？
perspective?
ええ見える
Yeah,
わね
I could see something.
話したいこと
He
がある
wants to talk about something.
でも自分から言い
However,
出す
he
勇
doesn't
気が
have the
ない
courage to bring it up.
だから追ってきて
So he
俺に
actually
話しか
needs
け
to
て聞
chase
き出
after
し
me,
てくれ
talk to me, and
が
ask
正
me
解
about
ね
it yourself.
ついてくるなも
By
逆
saying
の意
don't
味。
follow me, he actually means the opposite.
ついてきて俺を
He
問い
actually
詰めて
means
くれ
follow me
が
and
正
force
解。
me to answer.
まったく甘えん坊さんなんだから。
Seriously. What a spoiled brat.
いえ
What?
そういう推
Can
理
you
いいんす
really
か
call that reasoning?
そんなんめ
That's
ちゃくちゃな
ridiculous.
名探偵や名刑事が
Can great
男女の気持
private
ちや心を推理で
and
きる？
wait. Can great private and police detectives deduce the emotions and feelings between men and women?
できないでしょ？
They can't, right?
異性の気持ちを探る
Figuring
の
out
は
the feelings
何
of
次
the
元の
opposite
トリックを
sex
暴くよ
is an
り
even more
はるかに
advanced
高度な
art
技
than
術なのよ。
exposing the tricks in difficult crime cases. Yeah! Your dad's a fucking tsundere, Butler-kun.
私に言わせれば名作
If you
推理
ask
小
me,
説より
romance novels have
恋愛
much
小
deeper
説の方が
mysteries
よ
than
っぽど難
masterpiece
解なミス
mystery
テリーなんだか
novels.
ら。
I see.
そういうもんすか
Is
ね
that how it is?
私はあの
I'll
甘えん
stand
坊さんと一
alongside
緒
that
にいるわ。
spoiled brat.
普段は虚勢を張ってる
He
けど、
normally
今
loves
夜
to
はか
bluff,
なりの激論で疲れ
but
て
tonight
る。
he's completely tired out from that heated discussion.
誰かに寄りかかりた
He
い気持
probably
ちなんで
wants
しょう
someone to
ね。
lean on at the moment.
それに応えるのがパートナ
And
ーの役
responding
目
to
よ。
that need is the role of his partner.
はあ、
そりゃ
Sounds
熱いことで
passionate.
じゃあ
Then
うちの
I'll
ク
leave
ソ
that
親
old
父の世話
bastard in your
をよろしく
hands.
頼みますよ
ええ、
Yes,
任せ
leave
て
it
お
to
いて。
me. I called out to Kyurei-san's departing back.
何？
What?
いや
Um,
ありがとよって
I wanted to say
お
thanks.
かげで
Thanks to you, my
陰鬱な
gloomy
気分
mood
が
has
だいぶ晴れ
cleared
た
up
ぜ
a lot.
ならよかった。
That's good.
コミュニケーションは大事ね。
Communication is important. After answering with a wink, Kyurei-san followed after Dad. Natsuhi could be found in the dimly lit hallway. Now and then, the thunder would crash, but this had no effect on Natsuhi's expression. She looked completely worn out. The discussion that had just taken place between the relatives in the dining hall was repeating itself inside Natsuhi's head. Beatrice had proclaimed that in addition to the gold, all of the inheritance and property of the Ushirimiya family would be given to the person who would solve the riddle. In other words, she planned to undermine the absolute guarantee that Kraus, as the older brother, had to succeed the family head. Originally, the other siblings had absolutely no chance to inherit the headship. To them, this proposal by Beatrice was extremely desirable. It was obvious that they would accept it. There was no need to play some clumsy detective game. Natsuhi knew that this so-called 19th person, Beatrice, couldn't exist. Naturally, Beatrice was nothing more than a fictional character used to pass a message that Kinzo had written himself. As proof, Kinzo had remained stubbornly neutral as to that letter's authenticity. He was completely ignoring these reckless claims that he shouldn't be able to ignore, that he had given up the head's ring. In short, Kinzo had wordlessly admitted that the letter held his own message. Most likely, one of the servants had given Maria the letter. Kinzo had probably worked out an elaborate plan where the dress from the portrait would be prepared, and someone, probably Shannon, would be made to wear it and deliver the letter and umbrella. By doing that, he can make it seem like the witch from the portrait actually existed. No, if anything, that alone was proof that Kinzo was behind all of this. In that case, it was the same as Kinzo trying to butt in on the siblings' private discussion. Then Kinzo, by announcing he'd give everything to the person who solved the riddle, could weaken Krause's overwhelming advantage. Now it was certain Kinzo had eavesdropped on the siblings' discussion in the parlor earlier that day, so he had known how Krause had staved off the attack by the other three. And to make the scales of the battle go back into balance, he had sent out this strange letter, which benefited Krause's rivals. He was trying to push his crazy theory so that Rosa, who had a weak position amongst the siblings because of her age, would join with Ava and Rudolph. Then, with a 3-to-1 advantage, they'd be able to overwhelm Krause yet again and make their ridiculous theories get accepted by force. And by doing that, he gave them power to resettle what had once been a nearly decided conflict. They had now started repeatedly pressing Krause to pay them a large amount of money, using the condition that all of the siblings would guarantee Krause's position as a successor. Talk about advance payments was being brought up again despite having been rejected once. Of course, even without the story about the hidden gold, the Ushinomiya family's store of wealth was vast. And that store of wealth alone was more than enough. Even the hidden gold was buried forever, along with Kinzo's death. There wouldn't be more than enough to satisfy. Therefore, even if they weren't that interested in the gold itself, Kinzo had managed to instill the lifelong fear that, on the off chance that someone found the gold, that person would be granted the headship. And this kind of Achilles heel would definitely be taken advantage of by someone sooner or later. The only person with this fatal weakness was the successor, Krause. The other siblings had found. No, they had been told by Kinzo about something that only Krause could lose, and they had thoroughly taken advantage of that. Natsuhi, as Krause's only ally in his painful position, and as his wife, wanted to fight alongside him. She kept trying to explain to him that the existence of the gold itself was a farce, and that there was no need for him to compromise. Krause had always told Natsuhi. He had told all of the siblings. He always said that hidden gold was nothing more than an illusion created by Kinzo. Therefore, Natsuhi had believed it as his wife, and had supported her husband on that foundation. Even so, Natsuhi's words didn't reach Krause. Even though Natsuhi had fought so hard and had lent all of her strength, he continued to fight by himself and was trying to compromise with the other 3 siblings. Natsuhi sadly and weakly wondered why she couldn't be of use to him. Wait, where did I get sharing? I'm sorry, I'm tired. Natsuhi sadly and weakly wondered why she couldn't be of use to him, then started getting angry. It had happened when everyone decided to take a short break to cool their heads. Natsuhi had flared up against Krause. Enraged, she had asked why she could not be useful to him. He had then told her that he wanted to talk about something, and invited her into a room that she was normally not allowed to enter. That room had been sealed with a heavy-looking padlock, and just looking at it had given her an uncomfortable feeling. There's no need for you to worry about anything said by those 3, or even this suspicious person who calls herself Beatrice. After all, the gold is just a ruse created by father. There's no way something like that could be found. Your position as the successor is solid fact. What are you afraid of? Krause removed the padlock on the door. Then he motioned for Natsuhi to enter. Enter. What is this? There's something I want you to see. I've never shown you this before. Natsuhi timidly opened the door with a dubious expression on her face. It was pitch black. She searched for a switch to turn on the lights, but since this was her first time in the room, she didn't know where it was. Kraus entered behind her, pushing her in, and when the closed door before turning, and then when he closed the door before turning on the lights, the two were swallowed up by the darkness. Only the sound of Kraus locking the door rang out through the dark. What are you doing? The lights.
This is where I keep my Yu-Gi-Oh card collection. I've sunk millions into this.
That's actually where his failed business endeavors have gone. To his Yu-Gi-Oh card collection.
今つける。
I am turning them on now.
待ちたまえ。
Wait.
Just as he said, when Kraus pushed a switch on the wall, a flickering light turned on and lit up the room. That is...
Yes, it's time to duel Natsuhi.
Natsuhi had her breath taken away. The room had no windows, and at a glance it appeared to be empty. In the middle of the room, a small, round table had been set, and the lights brightened only that table, as if it were the leading part in a play. On top of that table, a red tablecloth of elaborate design had been set out, covered with dust. And on top of that, something about the size of a grown man's arm had been set down. That something took Natsuhi's breath away.
It's a gold ingot of incredible purity. Without this, no one would have believed in the legend of the gold.
It was an ingot of solid gold. Even in the faint light, it sparkled with a noble and dignified glint.
This is not a proper ingot. I don't even know whether it was cast inside or outside of the country. It took a high level of skill to make the purest of solid gold ingots. And in order to verify...
And in order to verify that purity, it was standard to have the original foundry and the name of the bank that guaranteed it imprinted on the gold. However, this ingot did not have that kind of seal. This mysterious gold bar had come from an unknown foundry.
Look here. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just a bar of gold.
Natsuhi. Ow! Hiccup! Ow! That hurt! Natsuhi, following Kraus's words, timidly approached the ingot. It sounded painful. Yeah, it fucking hurt. Yeah, I should do an exclamation point. Ow, I should make that a counter.
Right there.
Kraus pointed at the surface of the ingot. Natsuhi concentrated on that section. Right there was a thin imprint of the one-winged eagle crest. Natsuhi's breath was taken away once again.
That's right. This is the legendary ingot that Father said he received from the witch, that the president of Marisol witnessed and was allowed to select at random to take back with him. That gained the trust of the fixers in the business.
Give that woman her breath back, she gon' die.
I had to use all possible means to find it. I found it before the other siblings could.
How could? Then, the legend of Father's gold is...
It actually exists. The gold that the Ushirimiya Kinzo received from Beatrix actually exists.
Impossible. So it really does exist. Natsuhi was shocked. Kraus had always said that Kinzo's gold was just a fabrication, so she had believed it as his wife. However, the reality was different. Since he held definite proof, he had been more certain than any of the other siblings that the legend of the gold was true. Because of this, Kraus was deeply frightened at the possibility that someone other than himself would find the gold he'd failed to find, costing him everything. But to Natsuhi, this truth was more than enough to split open her heart. She had thought that, as Kraus's wife, she should be the closest confidant, which is why she had selflessly supported him. And yet, he had hid this fact from her until today. Why? Have I been so undeserving of your trust?
That has never been my intention. There was simply no need to tell you.
Is that all a wife means to you?
Calm down. Becoming passionate easily is one of your bad habits.
You're the one who's making me like that, aren't you? I've been supporting you as a wife ever since I married into this family. For your sake, I threw away the family I was born into. And I've been offering up my heart and my body to serve you. And in return, this is what I get? How could you?
Kraus grimaced, looking annoyed. His expression effectively communicated how much he disliked this part of Natsuhi, even if he didn't say it out loud.
It doesn't look like I will be of any use to you anymore.
That's fine. I can resolve the troubles with the siblings by myself. I don't need your help.
That's wrong! This is the Ushirimiya family's problem! It's true that I am not permitted to wear the family crest on my body. But I am still your wife! Even so, are you saying I'm not capable of helping you? Are you?
I especially wouldn't want to risk getting you involved. It would probably make your headaches even worse than they are now. Take a rest for today. The siblings will deal with the siblings' problems. It has nothing to do with you. That is all.
I genuinely feel bad for Natsuhi. She's actually one of my favorite characters. One of my favorite, like, of the Ushirimiya family. By the time we are done with this, you guys, not even completely done, by the time we're, like, 2/3 of the way through this entire series, you're gonna realize that there are literally, like, 50+ characters. And you're going to have to break them into... Like, there will be one that'll clearly be your favorite, but you're gonna have to break it up into, oh, who's my favorite of the family, the Ushirimiya characters? Who's my favorite of the furniture? Who's my favorite of this type of character? Who's my favorite of that type of character? It's insane. I won't... But, yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. It's absolutely a lot of fun. Thank you for the hydrate, Tyler. It's perfect timing. I was just about to take a, Okay, I'm gonna take a quick BRB so I can get more water and grab a snack. Oh, whoop, okay. Ara, ara. We're all alone in my bedroom. Ara, ara. Oh no. I am so sorry, you guys. I forgot I had it muted on the screen because of the ASMR. Issa, once that refreshes, I will, I'll either give your points back to you, or I will, let's see. Where is it? There it is. Beatrice. All right, reject. You got your points back, my dear. All right, I'm gonna take a quick BRB so I can grab a couple of things. Give that woman her breath back. Is that, it's a sound that is forever ingrained in my skull. Yes, worth it. All right, you guys, I'll BRB. Let's get a song going here for you. This isn't an Umineko song, but I don't mind listening to it while I'm BRBing. So enjoy this, you guys. This is from Higurashi no Naku Koro ni, the prequel and first visual novel, sound novel from Ryukishi. And a pretty darn good anime. I absolutely hated the newest one, the Go and Sotsu from 2020 and onward, but that's a story for another day. But the original, while the quality of the first season animation is not great, it's still a fantastic show. One I would easily watch with the Forest Friends if you ever were interested. Okay, here we go.
あなたの亡骸に土をかけるそれが禁じられていたとしても純粋な眼差しの快楽には隠しきれない誘惑があったどうして罪があるのだろうどうして罰があるのだろうこれの先はあまりにも白く無限に
Sorry guys,
続く
I didn't mean for that song to be
闇
twice.
を誘った何もかもが鮮やかに見えてすぐに消えてしまう
And it's really loud. I apologize, like, wholeheartedly. Oh my god, I was blasting your guys' ears that whole time. I am so sorry. I try to keep the audio levels good for you guys and not eardrum breaking, but I fucked up.
あなたの思い出に鍵をかけるそれが損なわれていたとしても苦しい愛情の奥底には抑えきれない衝動があったかけらを拾い集めながら夢の終わりを待っていた罪があるのは諦めているから罰があるのは求めすぎるから何もかもが置き去りにされて回り続ける朝が来れば笑えるだろうか
Sorry, we're cutting you off mid singing. I apologize. We need to get back into this. Back into this. So, how are you guys feeling so far? I know, well, actually, I shouldn't ask. Not a lot has happened. But I actually very much like Natsuhi as a character, so I genuinely, like, my heart hurts for her right now. A dull headache tormented Natsuhi. No matter what medicine she took, no matter what scents she burned, it wouldn't heal. In fact, simply wandering alone through the dark corridors and listening to the sound of the rain seemed to be a better cure. And for somebody who suffers from migraines, amen to that. I may be Natsuhi, but I was never Ushiramiya Natsuhi. I have been despised and treated as a borrowed womb, and insulted when I couldn't even fill that role. Even so, I have tried to properly perform my duties as a wife. But now, even my husband has rejected me. I've done my best raising my daughter, as if it were the last job left to me. However, I've had no release from my anger and sadness, and they've caused me to subconsciously strain that relationship too. Because I've been excessively strict in Jessica's education, she dislikes me thoroughly. She despises me for having no interest in anything but grades. There is no longer anything I can do for the Ushiromiya family. No, that's no good. Despite it all, I must help my husband and beat back the schemes of the other greedy siblings. The family head won't be around much longer. Eventually, Kraus will succeed the head, and the next successor will be Jessica. Strictly speaking, the man who enters the family by marrying Jessica will become the next head, but it all becomes to the same thing. I have to make Jessica an excellent successor, whom everyone will accept as worthy to take over the Ushiromiya family. In the days to come, that greedy Ushiromiya Eva will probably be plotting to find some fault with the main family. And if all goes as she plans, Jessica will be dragged down from the succession, with George set up in her place. Thank you, Silence, for the hydrate. Aloha, sleepyhead. I am a sleepyhead! It is regrettable, but George is a man, and even more, has matured as a person. Compared to Jessica, who is right in the middle of her rebellious period, and whose grades are slightly below average, it can be seen at a glance who is more fit to succeed the head. Okay, I always want to read Succeed the Heed. Just 'cause rhyme. I do! So in order to secure Jessica's position, I need to turn her into an excellent person. After doing that, I want to find her an excellent husband worthy of the excellent person she will have become. A wonderful man who will truly accept Jessica and stay with her through all of life's joys and sorrows. Natsuhi girl, hook me up with someone like that, I'm just saying. Somebody who can accept the good and the bad, and hell yeah. Was Natsuhi trying to entrust her daughter with fulfilling some desire of her own? Natsuhi thought back to the days when she had no choice but to marry into the Ushiromiya family. Because of that unavoidable fate, she had tried to block that from her memory. She had consciously forgotten about it, and had actively attended to the life she'd been given as Ushiromiya Natsuhi. And in doing so, she had built up a new life. But just now, it felt like all of that had been casually rejected. How should I think as I live my life? I do not know. Natsuhi helplessly rested her head against the glass of the window. The glass, which was cool thanks to the raindrops beating against it, but felt somehow refreshing, even though it should have been emotionless. Right then, it seemed to be the only thing that could understand Natsuhi. At that point, even if someone had appeared, Natsuhi didn't intend to pay any attention to them. But she did pay attention, because it was her beloved daughter. Oh, Oh, it's you, Mom. Why is the sound not working now? Where'd the voice acting go? Wait, hold on. We're gonna do a quick save. Like, there's no sound effects at all. What the hell? Wait a minute, did my headset disconnect? No, that can't be it, because I was listening to the music. Well, yeah, what the fuck? Okay, we're going to reboot the game, because I don't know what happened. I thought it was just quiet because it was like inner monologue. Yeah, okay. You can't hear it either. Oh no, the game froze. Close the program, you bitch! Oh, stop. Okay, that's how I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's do Umineko again. We'll boot that up. Oh, golly gee willikers. Oh, golly gee. Ain't no other man can stand till we come on. Ain't no other man. How deep into the story are we at this point? We're still not at October 5th, I can tell you that much. But we're getting close. We haven't gotten too far past the, letter from dinner from the last stream.
Nipa boil.
We had to restart as the sound cut out. Oh, it's you, Mom. What the heck are you doing in a place like this? What, the house? I thought you were a ghost. Like me! Maybe that's why I get along with Natsuhi. Just like always, her words were rough and not at all a girl's. Instinctively, words of rebuke rose to Natsuhi's throat. However, her strength gave out and they didn't escape her lips.
Jessica,
Jessica,
ごめんね。
forgive me,
母さんは
but
頭痛
my
がひどいの。
headache is awful.
そっとしといてくれる。
Please leave me be.
そう。
I see. Jessica was seeing her mother in a position of feebleness for the first time, so she was considerably disconcerted. Until just now, she had been filled with contempt for all of the parents, including her mother. But now, those feelings had been completely swept away. Her mother's utterly exhausted face had wiped them all out. In its place, the words George had told her floated back up in her mind. Our parents are doing their best in their own way, and because their families are counting on them, they can't afford to keep everything pleasant and have a heavy responsibility to fight. Maybe her mother had been standing around in this dimly lit hallway because no one had tried to understand that in her, Jessica hated her mother. So she had no intention of speaking kindly to Natsuki just because she was looking a bit frail. So when she attempted to speak kindly to her mother anyway, she had to clench her fist and gather up the words from deep in her heart. It sounds like you really got your hands full with that meeting thing.
お前には関係あり
It
ま
has
せん。
nothing to do with you.
よそへ行っていなさい。
Please, go somewhere else.
頭痛ひ
Is
ど
your
い。
headache bad? Should I go get some medicine?
薬もらってこようか。
構わないで結構
You
です。
don't have to trouble yourself.
お願いだから。
Please,
一人きりにして
leave me alone. Natsuki wasn't being cold. She just wanted her daughter to go far away so that she wouldn't have to bump against Natsuki's own short temper. But there was no chance that Jessica would realize this. Oh, okay. Jessica hung her head, looking sad. Seeing that expression, Natsuki recognized the kindness that Jessica was trying to muster. She gave her head a small shake to drive away her own unkind feelings.
じゃあ私、
Then I'll leave.
大人の邪魔
I'll
にな
be
ら
with
ない
the
よう
other
に。
cousins so I don't get in the way of the adults.
じゃあ
See you later.
お待ちなさい。
Wait there. She called Jessica, who was trying to leave and looked lonely, to stop. What?
気遣いを。
Thank you for being so considerate.
お前を残して猫
It
を
isn't
かけ
good
て
of
いきます。
me to go to sleep and leave you alone. Don't talk like that. You'll bring bad luck.
演技でもなぜ。
心配をかけまし
I've
た。
made you worried,
もう大丈夫
but
です。
I'm okay now.
私は引きます。
I will go. If I let my daughter see me, this fear any longer, will only make her feel more uneasy. With that thought in mind, Natsuki left Jessica with words of gratitude and made to depart. This time, Jessica called out to her mother's back. Natsuki stopped and turned around, asking what business Jessica had with her. But Jessica herself didn't know why she stopped her mother, and for a while just smiled wryly, muttering to herself as she hesitated over what to say. She was poking around her pocket when her hand touched something, and she took it out.
あのさ、母さん。
Hey, Mom.
私さ、
I was given a
お
charm
守りもらっ
today.
なんだっけな。
What was it? A charm against magic?
確かその、
I'm pretty
ド
sure
アノ
that
ブにぶら下げてる
you
と
were
いいんだっ
supposed to
け。
hang it from your doorknob, I think.
忘れちまったぜ。
Oh, the music's much louder? Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Let's turn it down a little bit. Is that any better? Still audible, but not overpowering? La la la. It's good? Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry, guys. If ever that happens, just let me know, and I can correct it. I forget. There's no point in me having it, so I'll let you take it. It was the scorpion charm that Maria had given her on the beach. Although she'd heard of its various effects from Maria, Jessica's mind had gone blank, and she was barely able to even say that much. Jessica, thinking that her mother would probably wouldn't accept it anyway, immediately drew back the hand she had stuck out, grasping the charm. You can't tell, sing la 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 some more? So when Natsuhi came back to take it, she was extremely shocked. What is this? Some kind of prize toy? Well, I think it's something like that. I guess you wouldn't really expect a charm that looks like a toy to do anything. But her mother took the charm from where she grasped it in her hand. Thank you. I'll take good care of it. Sometime soon, in exchange, why don't I give you a charm that was important to me when I was a child? It's not like that's why I gave it to you. But, well, if you really say so, then I will rest for now. My headache is awful. Try not to stay up too late. Sure. Natsuhi put the charm in her pocket and turned away. She then disappeared into the dark hall. A moment of them actually bonding. It seems the weather will be like this all day tomorrow after all. Dang, this makes the good weather we had earlier feel like a lie. George, Aniki, and I were killing time in front of the parlor television. At that point, Jessica returned. Her face was still blank, but it looked like she'd calmed down a little since we'd last seen her. Is Maria still in front of the portrait? No, she just came back, and she's sleeping over there on the sofa. It's getting pretty late for her, after all. Looking at the clock, I saw it was a little past 10 p.m. Even if we were planning to stay up all night, it was about time to head back to our room. Well, my mom did have a room prepared for us in the mansion. What do we do? I'd rather head back to the guest house. Going by what we saw of our parents, I think it'd be better if we weren't in the mansion. I agree. Feels like they're telling us kids to mind our own business and stay out of their way. Let's be good little boys and girls and do just that. As we were talking about this, Aunt Rosa came to the parlor. She was looking all over restlessly, probably trying to find Maria. Aunt Rosa, if you're looking for Maria, she's over there on the sofa. Thank you. My, she's out cold. We must move her to a bed. If you'd like, I'll carry her over to a bed. Thanks. That would be wonderful. Are you all heading back to the guest house? Or are you going to stay in the room Natsuhine-san had prepared here? We were just talking about that. We just decided to head over to the guest house. I see. Then, could I ask you to take Maria with you? I'd feel much more reassured if she stays with all of you cousins. Behind those words, she seemed to be concealing some regret that the adults, herself included, had deeply hurt Maria's feelings. Leave it to us, Aunt Rosa. After all, we do have an expert at comforting Maria with us. Are you talking about me? I couldn't do it by myself. We'll need everyone together. That's right. Battler, weren't you the one who hit it off with Maria when you were messing around earlier? As we said this, Aunt Rosa smiled, looking truly happy. Thank you, everyone. It looks like our meeting will last until very late, So well, I'm sorry to burden you like this.
マリアをみんなにお
I'll
願
be
いするわ
counting on you all to take care of Maria.
おいマリア
Hey, Maria, are you sound asleep? We're going back to the guest house. Maria muttered something indistinct, rolled over, and fell back asleep. It looked like she was sleeping deeply. She's really out cold. I'd hate to wake her. Right, I'll carry her. Maria's body was much lighter than it looked. I lifted her up and put her on George Aniki's back. It was raining hard outside, and Aniki couldn't hold an umbrella to carry Maria at the same time. It looked like Aunt Rosa would come with us as far as the guest house to help out. However, when she heard Uncle Krause's voice call out to her, she had no choice but to return. Now that's a problem. I have to go back now. Is everyone returning to the guest house? After we left the hall on the way to the entrance, the door to the servant room opened and Shanin-chan stepped out. It has grown very dark, so allow me to guide you.
ちょうどよかったわシャノちゃん
That would be great, Shanin-chan.
ジョージ君がマリアを送ってきてくれる
George-kun is going to carry Maria there.
傘をさしてあげてくれ
Could you
ないか
hold
し
an
ら
umbrella for him? Yes, certainly. Shanin-chan brought the umbrellas for each of us, and a flashlight to guide the way. As we opened the front door, the downpour was quite terrific. It looks like we wouldn't have any spare time to make a pleasant walk and enjoy the nighttime rose garden.
兄貴重くねえか
Aniki, is she too heavy?
俺が背負うぜ
Want me to carry her?
大丈夫だよ
It's okay.
マリアちゃんくら
I
い背
can
負う
carry
よ
at least carry Maria-chan.
本当にありがとうね
I am truly grateful.
マリアをよろしくお
Please,
願い
take care of Maria.
わかりました
Sure, you got it.
じゃあおやすみなさい
Then, I guess this is good night, Aunt Rosa. That hurts.
それではお
Then,
送りしてまい
I
り
will
ます
see them over there and return here. Yes, please. Aunt Rosa watched us leave. Maria, I'm sorry for everything. Rosa's mumbling voice didn't reach the person in question, nor any of the kids, but disappeared beneath the sound of the rain. After cutting through the rainy rose garden, we arrived at the guest house. Ah, if only I applied for the position of Maria Carrier. Then I wouldn't have gotten a chance to have Shanin-chan's huge boobs rubbing all over my arm. That's not why I did it. It's a misunderstanding. I thought that if I didn't walk like this, George-sama would get all wet. Come on, quit babbling and go in. After being urged on by Jessica, we folded up our umbrellas and went into the guest house.
お召し物を濡らしてしまった方
Has
はいらっ
anyone
しゃいま
gotten
せ
their
んか
clothes wet?
タオルを用意いたし
I
ま
can
す
bring some towels if you want.
そこまで気を使
You
わな
don't
くてい
need
い
to
ぜ
worry about us that
あ
much.
りがとうよ
Thanks,
シャノンちゃん
Shanin-chan.
そうだ
Ah, that's right.
僕たちはこれ
We
か
were
ら
planning
ト
to
ランプ
play
でもし
cards
て
or
少し遊
something.
ば
Would
な
you
いか
care
っ
to
て
join
話
us
なん
for
だ
a
け
bit?
どよかったら
Huh?
今日のシフト
Who had the night shift on today's schedule?
親族会
I
議中
believe we had a
特
special
別シフト
schedule
に
during
な
the
ってたと思
family
いました
conference.
少し変更が出て
Also,
る
I
みたい
think
な
a
の
few
で
alterations
ちょっ
have
と
been
確認し
made,
てきます
so I will go and check.
ああ
Wait,
わざわ
if
ざ
you
屋敷
have
に
to
戻ら
go
ないと
through all the
わから
way
ないんだ
back to the
無理
mansion
に
to find out, don't force yourself. Oh,
大丈夫で
that's
す
alright.
ゲストハウス
I
の
can
使用
find
人
out
室
from
で
the
わかり
servant
ますの
room in
で
the guest house.
ちょっと失礼しますね
Oppai daisuki! Please excuse me for a short while. Shannon-chan gave a quick bow and went to the guest house servant room. The rest of us headed for the cousin's room and decided to put Maria to bed for the time being.
Oppai! Oppai daisuki!
Maria was sleeping very deeply, and there was absolutely no sign of her eyes opening. For now, we'd get some soft drinks out of the room's refrigerator and drink those while playing cards or something. What do you mean soft drinks? Don't you mean pop? Oh, Kanon-kun. And you're here too, Kenji-sama. What has happened with tonight's shift? Gross has given an order. He made some sizable changes to the shift schedule.
Indeed. Oda-san now has the night shift at the mansion. Shannon and Cannon have the night shift in the guest house. Kumasawa and I have been ordered to sleep in the guest house. Just now, a phone call came, saying that once you arrived, you are also to remain here for the rest of the night.
Huh? That certainly is a sizable change. The shifts at the guest house and the mansion have been completely reversed, haven't they? Originally, Shannon and Cannon had been assigned the night shift in the mansion, while the night shift at the guest house, where all the relatives were staying, had been assigned to Goda, who had an abundance of experience in entertaining. Kumasawa could have been sleeping in the guest house, while Genji should have been sleeping in the mansion. However, it seemed that Kraus had suddenly ordered that the schedule be modified. The shifts at the guest house and the mansion had been reversed. See, this is what I'm talking about. Ryukishi, I love you to death, but you literally just described this. Why are my cheeks puffy? You literally described this in dialogue. You are literally repeating the dialogue we just read. Again, this is why I like the manga. You know, people can fight me on it. I get it. The visual novel is the best way to experience it as far as this music and the voice acting and the sound effects. It gives that perfect page turn when you least expect it. But I still think the manga is the best way to experience a story. That's just me. People can fight me on it. I know it's blasphemous, but I would love to read. God, I wish I could read the manga on stream, but I will literally. I've already gotten flagged once before for belly dancing, apparently, that I don't want to risk. Oh, Misfit Sorcerer! Ooh, that's a fun name. Thank you for the follow. You're officially a forest friend. I hope you're having a good night tonight. We are reading Umineko no Naku Koro ni Batterlai Ushurumi Banis. Oh my god, blah blah. Blah blah. Come on. That's really pushing it. Besides, I would rather relate to Beatrice. I need that art. I will commission, I actually am trying to commission lots of different artwork for the, you know, all of the promotional stuff. I was going to get Lorelei in Battler's outfit. We'll make it happen, I promise. Happy to be here. I hope the stream is going well. So far, so good. We might switch to a game here in about a half an hour, but I'm trying to get to October 5th, god damn it. We've tried to get to October 5th for like the last 3 streams. I couldn't make Beatrice and your name work. Yeah, I figured. Lorelei Beatrice doesn't have a last name, so Lorelei. Yes, a good stream and a great stream. Oh, hi, Shisa. Thank you, though. I appreciate you a lot. All right, guys, let's keep reading. But my point still stands. Like, Ryukishi's literally just repeating belly dancing. What's happening? Nothing. Silence. Nothing is happening at all. All right, let's get going. What I was saying, though, still stands. Ryukishi's literally just repeating the dialogue we just heard. Like, we get it, Ryukishi. I love you to bits and pieces, but you sometimes just over-explain. It's probably because of Beatrice's... Beatrice's... It's probably because of Beatrice-sama's letter. Why, probably. After such a mysterious letter appeared, it was only natural that Kraus-sama would suspect one of us. We served directly under the master, so Kraus-sama tried to... Oh! Matsu! Enki, do you guys now understand the raid gif now too? It's just 3 Kinzos. Thank you for the raid, Matsu! How is stream? Welcome, Raiders! Crusader, thank you for the shout-out. I appreciate you. Top tier mod and top tier defense attorney. I may have accidentally broke the game. Yay! Ah, sorry. So Cross-sama tried as best as he could to keep us far away from the family conference. Genji, Shannon, and Kanen were all permitted to wear the Ushirimiya family crest, the one-winged eagle, as the servants who served directly under Kinzo. Of course, since they were working for the Ushirimiya family, they had to obey everyone's orders, but their only boss was Kinzo. Since only Kinzo held the right to employ them, even Kraus could not have dismissed of his own accord. Because of this, Kraus and the others often viewed these servants as Kinzo's underlings and shunned them. In fact, Kinzo seldom let anyone other than them enter his study. This sudden change was probably a clear expression of the sense of mistrust that had caused. Considering the time Kinzo had left to live, this would definitely be the last family conference before the problem of the inheritance came up. On top of that, the mysterious letter that claimed to be from Beatrice had dropped in out of the blue. Kraus definitely wanted to keep Kinzo's loyal subjects away from the table of such a delicate and important discussion. Hydrate.
If you would excuse me, I will go rest. If anything happens, call me immediately. Our guest tonight is a special case, after all.
Yes, certainly, Genji-sama. Genji nodded back when behind a screen, took off his jacket, and slowly began to relax after a day's worth of tension. Once you just returned now, are they the children? Yes. The other relatives are having a conference in the mansion. It looks like it would drag on for quite some time. Then we've got it easy. It's already this late, and there's this weather. The rest of the relatives will probably spend the night in their rooms in the mansion. Yes, probably. I'm only saying this because Genji-sama isn't around, but I'm a little happy I was sent to the guest house. I guess. Oh? Why is that? Because you can't stay away from Madam and Eva-sama, those bullies. Oh, because you can stay away. I'm so sorry, you guys. Or do you have another reason? It's not as though I have another reason. I see. Then let's do our best together with our night shift. I'm counting on you, Ne-san. Just now, I was asked to go to the children's room and play with them. Shannon hung her head apologetically, gazing at Kanan's uncertainly. Kanan didn't try to meet her eyes, and spoke curtly as he sighed. It looked like he didn't plan on indulging his sister. You can't. You were assigned to the night shift. Besides which, it isn't necessary for furniture like us to respond to an invitation to play. You understand, right? Yes, I do understand. Shannon's shoulders drooped slightly. She had already expected that Canon, a stickler for rules, would say something like that, but she still seemed a little discouraged. As Canon flipped through a logbook, he spoke without facing Shannon. That means the children will be waiting for you. You'll have to apologize and tell them you have the night shift and won't be able to stay with them. Go and come back.
Yes.
I'll go apologize and come back. Shannon hurriedly stood from her seat before her brother's mood could change and flew out of the servant room after giving a quick bow. As he watched her go, Kanon took a single deep breath. Genji's voice came from beyond the screen. Kanon, I will be here, so you can go too. Genji-sama. Shannon was the only one called. It's not as though I was invited.
That is only because you were not there at the time. If you had been, you would have been invited as well. It is good to play as a child from time to time. No, such a thing is not necessary for me. Human children may have a need to play, but we are furniture. Is that so?
Mei-san is also furniture. Caballero, thank you for the hydrate. Even if she pretends to be a person, it will only hurt her later. I understand that, so I try not to get close to people, that's all. Genji did not say anything after that. After a while, he stood up and used a pot of hot water to make powdered cocoa, serving some to Kanon as well. Is that for real? I had no clue! Dumbass, you're too loud! You'll wake up Maria! Battler was so surprised that he yelled obnoxiously and scattered his cards everywhere. His voice caused Maria to turn over once, but she soon fell back into a deep sleep. Jessica gave him a jab, and he lowered his voice. Still, seriously, now that you mention it, they really did have that kind of atmosphere, didn't they? Ah, now I see. So George Umineko is... George couldn't be seen anywhere in the room. A short while ago, even Shannon came into the room. Or when Shannon came into the room, George suddenly said he'd forgotten something in the mansion and needed to go back and get it. Shannon said she would guide him, just like she had on the way to the guest house, and the two of them departed together. Well, there's actually been signs of it for a while now. You know, questions about hobbies and favorite things. I always thought it was a bit much for a passing interest. And look what's happening now. Come to think of it, I get the feeling George Umineko has always been overly nice to Shannon-chan. Now I get it. Oh, 1 second, you guys. Okay, this was the part I was hoping to get to last stream. George and Shannon sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G. That's really weird, though. Who kisses a chair? So weird. According to the weather report, it looks like it'll be at its worst tonight. It also seems it'll last all day tomorrow, though it should get a little better. Really? Then maybe the boat won't arrive until the day after tomorrow. I hope that doesn't interfere with your work on Monday. I already knew the typhoon would be coming beforehand. Just in case, I made sure I didn't have any plans for Monday. So it's okay. Fat George and Shannon. Yes. Hashtag we love Fat George. I may not look it, but I really am the type who can plan ahead in his schedule. George puffed out his chest, acting proud. Compared to the calm appearance George always had as the oldest cousin, he now looked amusingly like a little kid. Shannon chuckled at this abrupt contrast.
It's no surprise you're so well prepared. Someone who will bring prosperity to his company someday.
Well, making a company prosper really is a tough job. Money isn't the only thing that's important. I learned that, well, when studying under my father. Making a company prosper is like owning a castle and leading your subordinates. My dad really loves reading about great leaders during the warring periods of Japan, a hobby that's become influenced by the fact he shares Toyotomi Hideyoshi's name. Much of his philosophy on managing business comes from talking about them. Did you know? Takeda Shingen, who is feared as the leader of the strongest cavalry corps in the warring periods, started out with his troops in complete disarray and didn't have the kind of strong leadership necessary to utilize them well.
Ah, is that true?
That's a little unexpected. In order to unite his troops, Shingen showed his excellent leadership in many ways. For example, when a soldier succeeded in battle, he would immediately honor them with a medal. Normally, that kind of thing was put off until after the war, and they were all awarded at once. He continued this diligently while on the field of battle, and immediately showing his appreciation for his troops, military's exploits, motivated them in an extremely significant fashion. Also, whenever one of his troops was brought down by an illness, he would be the first to rush up to them and care for them, and so on. Takeda Shingen wasn't just the man who led the strongest cavalry corps in the warring period. He was the person who cared the most for his troops throughout the warring period.
And
because he was that kind of person, all of his troops went along with him. The truth was, Shannon had already heard this story several years ago. But whenever a discussion of his father led to this sort of topic, George would always glow and look like he was having a great time. So Shannon just smiled without interrupting, urging him to continue. Of course, in a capitalist world, money determines both your strength and the height of your fortifications. But you can't build up a castle or succeed in a world by yourself. Such things can only be accomplished with the support of many subordinates, by borrowing their strength. After understanding this, when I look at my father's back, I realize how immature I am. I can clearly see how much competition he had to overcome before building up all he has now.
George-sama,
You truly look up to your father.
I'm jealous.
Sorry. That's not how I meant it.
I'm sorry.
That's not how I meant it either. The two of them awkwardly looked at their feet. George had a major foot fetish. Shannon did too. Shannon had no parents. She had been brought up in an orphanage owned by Kinzo called the Fukuin House. Under the guidance of Kinzo, their honorary director, the orphanage offered members who excelled a chance for on-the-job serving experience. If their efforts met with Kinzo's approval, they'd be able to leave the orphanage and work as servants for the Ushiramiya family. This was considered to be the highest honor for those who lived in the orphanage. Servants from the Fukuin house all took names with the character On in them while they served. So Shannon wasn't her real name. The name for Kanon... Oh, sorry. I read it wrong. Oh, the name went for Kanon. The same went for Kanon.
All of the members of the Fukuin house were orphans. At least, they were all people who had been separated from their parents under special circumstances. Because of this, the orphans had been taught to think of each other as their own family. That's why it seemed so natural to both of them when Kanan called Shannon his sister. And while both Shannon and Kanan were working in the mansion today, there were several other servants possessing the On character in their names, such as Manon and Lennon, who often worked in a rotation schedule. However, there were not as many servants who stayed with the Ushiramiya family for long. It was standard for them to quit after 3 years. So you could probably say that Shannon, who had been working for 10 years, was a notable exception to this rule. Working as a servant for the Ushiramiya family was a heavy burden to bear, but the pay wasn't bad at all. Working for a full 3 years would earn more than what was needed to enter mainstream society. That was why, even though the orphans realized what a harsh task working for the Ushiramiya family was, they still hoped to be accepted. Maybe the fact that Shannon managed to continue working for 10 years wasn't because she had more willpower than the other servants. Maybe she'd gotten stuck working for 10 years because she didn't have the courage to say she wanted to quit. Kinzo couldn't even trust his own blood relatives, and those excellent servants sent from Fukuin House were the only ones he could rely on. Because of that, Kinzo would sometimes allow them to wear the family crest, as servants under his direct control, and have them work close to him. You've been working here for almost 10 years now, right? You must have saved up a lot of money by now. I wonder. It's not like there's anything in particular I'd like to buy. After all, a few million yen isn't enough to live off for the rest of your life. So, the reason you've been working all this time wasn't to hit some target sum? Yes, that's right. I have nowhere to go outside this mansion. And I've been getting along well with Milady and the younger servants. The madam does scold me sometimes, but caring for the roses and cleaning the mansion is fun. But that can't be your entire life, Shannon-chan. No, Sayo-chan. Shannon cast her eyes downwards when she heard her real name. She understood that George was trying to say, and fell silent. There's something I've learned as I continue to study even after becoming an adult and a full-fledged member of society. A human's life is not as monotonous or short as we thought when we were kids. All school-aged kids have certain fears they can't shake. They wonder whether they'll live the rest of their lives like sleepy classes after a monotonous and boring school day, spending their time in a carefree laziness without anything interesting happening until it's all over. However, life's only like that for underage students. Compared to a human's life, the time they spend as students is nothing more than a blink of an eye, a period where they can break through the shells of their immaturity. Shibalashu. The inside of the shell might be a hot, suffocating, and boring world. But the world beyond that shell is vast and filled with limitless possibilities. So far, your life had been trapped inside the shell called Shannon. I think you're under the mistaken impression that your life will continue like this forever. That's... Shannon couldn't deny those words. She'd been unable to harbor any clear doubts about her lifestyle. And since she never had any hope or goals for changing herself, she had lazily continued living the way she had always had. And if asked whether this life was satisfying, she wouldn't have been able to nod. She may have been intentionally averting her eyes from the truth. Without George's admonishments, she would have continued pretending not to notice she would have continued pretending not to notice as her real life slipped away bit by bit, neglected. George-sama, is it wrong for me to continue living this way? Yeah, it is. Oh, and by the way, didn't you break one of our rules just now? George immediately gave her a strict answer, then broke out into a mischievous smile. Shannon already knew what she was being chided for, and she hung her head again, apparently embarrassed. Didn't you promise not to use sama when the two of us were talking alone? I couldn't obey that as promised. But if it was an order, I would have to obey it, because I'm furniture. There you go, Tyler. Then it's an order. Yes. Certainly. George-san. As Shannon hung her head, her face red, she said George's name again, this time following it with son. Yes, that's fine. Sayo-chan. George smiled at Shannon, no, Sayo, to praise her small act of bravery. This short exchange alone made it clear how far back their relationship must have stretched. For a long while, the two talked as if the weather raging about them didn't even enter their thoughts. They talked about the many memories they built during the relationship that no one else knew about. Every once in a while, a flash of lightning would attempt to interrupt them, but this could sully neither the roses nor the time they spent blushing at each other. It's Blubba and his wife. They're so cute. Right? So true. That's right. I have something I wanted to show you. What could it be? George, who had been speaking eloquently, suddenly started to stutter. Watching him, Shannon seemed to guess something. George timidly searched through his pocket. Something got caught in the depths of his pocket, and just like the stuttering George, it took a little while to get out. It was a very small box. A small box covered in a deep blue velvet. That peculiar shape was enough to tell anyone what was resting inside. Oh, uh-oh. Hello! Huge delay. I saw it just now. I'm sorry if there's a delay. Shannon had prepared her heart somewhat, certain beforehand that this is what he'd been planning. But even so, when she actually saw it, she couldn't avoid blushing once more. George opened the small box, took something out, and held it out for Shannon to take. Wiguchi, I want you to take this. I couldn't accept something so valuable. You can't take it? No. I'm unworthy of such a thing. Sayo, this isn't a request. It's an order. Take this ring, okay? If it's an order, I cannot disobey. Yeah, that's right. Well done. Shannon, not wanting to show her bright red face, timidly accepted the ring from George Anaki's hand while still staring at the ground. Hold on. I want to save real quick. I think clear. Yeah, I like looking at the stills without the text over them. She's so cute. I really like Shannon. She's one of my favorite characters. Shannon, while George's hand was still staring at the ground.
Thank you for the save redeem.
That ring wasn't a simple accessory. It was a noble object, meant since ancient times to be offered to a special woman under special circumstances. Therefore, while George could order her to take it, he could not order anything beyond that. Anything beyond that would depend, not on an order, but on Shannon's, no, Sayo's own will. So, from here on, I'm not ordering you anymore. Sayo, I want you to give me your answer by tomorrow, without using words. Do you understand? How should I? I won't order you any further, so this isn't an order. But a ring is something you put on your finger, after all. If you like it, you can just put it on any finger you choose. Shannon had only pretended not to know. She already understood what he wanted her to do, but she was standing at a huge crossroads of her life. Look how late it's gotten. Let's call it a day. George turned away from Shannon, acting just a bit bluntly. I could probably order you to wear it on your left hand. You might be timid and dependent enough to actually obey that kind of order. But I want at least this last step to be done by your own will, Sayo. Understand? Yes. So, that's my order. I want you to think about it well tonight and show me your answer tomorrow. Shannon nodded back. Today was the accumulation of their many days spent together. Culmination, not accumulation, culmination. This moment certainly hadn't come as a surprise to Shannon. We should be getting back to the guest house soon. If we take any longer, we'll make everyone worry about us. I'm sorry, I just remembered something I had to do in the mansion. So, I have to go back to the mansion. At a time like this? Is it true? George stared into Shannon's face as he laughed mischievously. He definitely saw through Shannon's lie. However, when he saw how she felt, he could sort of understand that she might be so embarrassed that she'd want to be alone. So, because George realized the meaning behind Shannon's lie, he accepted it.
Blah blah! I let my Pop-Tart out too long and now it's like stale. We're still not gonna get to October 5th, I swear to God. Okay, you know what? We're gonna save it. It's already 10 p.m. Okay, so I need to take my medicine like now, and it's gonna kick in probably in like 45 minutes. So, let me see. What I could do. Yeah, this is an excellent place to switch. just a lovely, sweet moment. They're so darn cute.